Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Can you guys hear me? Please let me know if you guys can hear me or not. Accidentally dropped my iPad, but we are good to go. How you guys doing tonight? Please let me know if you guys can hear me or not in the stream before we kind of get started. I don't have a crazy agenda today. Just got back home from work. Obviously, a lot of trades, a lot of things has gone down in basketball in terms of trading today. So we're just gonna talk about some trades, see if any last minute things pop up before tomorrow. Because of course, tomorrow is the actual trade deadline. So I'm gonna see if I can hop on the stream tomorrow and go through it live with you guys for a few hours until the deadline actually passes or not. Give you guys my live reactions. If I get any info, of course, share it with you guys live. But a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff has actually happened today. So once again, let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not. Okay, all right. I'm just seeing your guys' thing. So yes, a lot of trades that went down. Let me pull up Twitter, where of course it was crazy the last couple of hours. The last couple of days has really been crazy. Just in general, way more interesting than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a quiet trade deadline. We really weren't going to see a lot of moves until the summer, but it looks like we are getting a lot of things going on now. So, of course, the latest one we might as well go ahead and talk about right now, or the second to latest one, because Houston, they just made a trade. We're going to talk about Washington trading away Otto Porter for Bobby Portis and Jabari Parker. They also got a 2023 second round pick, or sent a 2023 second round pick to the Wizards. And initially, my initial thought, I was thinking the Lakers were going to get Jabari Parker. I really thought leading up, Jabari Parker was going to end up with the Los Angeles Lakers. It looked like KCP. It was going to be sent over to Chicago. We know Chicago and their history. Chicago's seemingly been trying to get KCP for a while now. I thought that was going to happen, but that did not happen. We expected Bobby Portis to be traded away. An unbelievable talent, a guy who can help a lot of teams, but you have marketing in there, and you really don't have a long term spot in Chicago because marketing is going to be the guy that you're going to keep long term. So you ship them out. You bring in Otto Porter. Otto Porter, to me, an extremely overpaid player. Um, I'm not really too high on Otto Porter. I know a lot of people are. Personally, I think he's decent. Um, I'm not thrilled with it, but you get Jabari Parker off of your books. He clearly was not a fit in Chicago. You give him another opportunity. Now, I don't know what Jabari Parker is going to do long term for the Wizards. I don't see him staying there past this season. But it is an opportunity for them to go hard this season. They're not going to be with John Wall. Of course, he has a torn Achilles injury. So the Wizards they're still pushing to make the playoffs. They are not stopping just because of this. They are pushing to make the playoffs. Even without John Wall, I think Jabari Parker is going to help. I think Bobby Portis is also going to help. So for this season, I think it's a very, very good trade. As for, I've seen some in the comments talking about the Houston trade. I was driving when it all went down, so I'm kind of looking at it now. It looks like three-way trade between Cleveland, Houston, and the Cavs. Cleveland sending Alec Burks to the Kings. The Rockets are getting Iman Shumpert. The Rockets are sending Brandon Knight, Marquise Chris, and a protector first to Cleveland. I believe Cleveland may be getting a pick, which I could have seen also. Yes, Cleveland is also getting a lottery protected 2019 first round pick. which should essentially go to Cleveland. We fully expect the Houston Rockets to at least make the playoffs. So, my initial thoughts on this one, Houston. We all know Brandon Knight, he wasn't going to play for Houston. So, um, you get him on Shumpert, just a guy who has that experience, who's been there, who's won a championship. Of course, he wasn't the main guy, but you have somebody who could come in and who can get buckets for you, who can contribute on defense side of the end a little bit for you as well. So I don't mind that from Houston. Your draft pick is going to be a late draft pick. So with those draft picks and with a team like Houston who was built to win now, are you really missing out on that draft pick? I don't believe you are. So I don't mind that pick whatsoever. Cleveland, like I said, you're getting a pick. You're clearly in rebuild mode. You get Brandon Knight. You can see if you want to what you want to do with Brandon Knight long term. Marquise Chris, another young guy who, to me, Marquise Chris, of course, never lived up to the potential. Still young enough that he can maybe develop into something. It's definitely going to be interesting to see his role, what exactly it is in Cleveland. But I do think he'll get a good opportunity to play out the rest of this season with Cleveland. Then we'll see what they do after that. And for the Sacramento Kings, Iman Shumpert, of course, he wants to win. He's older. He's not really trying to go through that rebuilding process. So you get rid of a guy who wants to win. And really, that's it. Really, not a lot of opinions off of that trade. Um, but it's not a bad trade. I think Cleveland got the better end of that. I think Houston also got a pretty good deal in that trade. We're still waiting to see what happens with Marc Gasol or Mike Conley. I think something is going to happen tonight. We know they're going to be traded. We know they did not travel with the team. They are at home in terms of Mike Conley and Marc Gasol. So we'll see what happens. I'm literally refreshing, seeing if anything is going to happen, but we're waiting on that. And if something happens live on this stream, of course, we are going to talk about it. But fully expect something to happen. Charlotte has been in conversations to try to get Marc Gasol. The Toronto Raptors actually offered a deal last night trying to get both Marc Gasol and Mike Conley. Of course, that did not go through. We know that the Memphis Grizzlies actually rejected that deal. They were trying to send over Kyle Lowry and Valanciunas. To me, it makes sense why you reject that. You're trying to get either young assets moving forward or a star player. Kyle Lowry, Mike Conley, they're kind of interchangeable in terms of talent level. I still prefer Mike Conley over Kyle Lowry. So, yeah, we'll see kind of what they do in terms of trading, but I think Charlotte could be the move today. Let me read some of these comments. Lakers trades. Lakers, I'm waiting. The Reggie Bullock trade, I like it. You get a shooter on an expiring deal. He's also a veteran. So you get everything the Lakers were looking for in that deal. You give us V. Mikhailuk. I like him. He's a very young, talented player. He played very, very well in the summer league. He played very, very well in his short stint in the G League as well this season. I believe he had a G League game where he went over 40-something points. I could be mistaken, but I know he's played very, very good in the G League. So he's a shooter, but for the Lakers, they really want that expiring deal. The Lakers are in that situation where they are literally pushing everything they have, trying to get Anthony Davis. They're playing this game right now. Hey, we're not really interested, all this stuff, but let's be real. We know that's just talk. We definitely know that's just talk. The Lakers, they really want Anthony Davis. You can see the way they played. A lot of the young guys, they're not too excited to have their name brought up in all of these trade talks. So we will see, what they end up doing. As of right now, looks like the Lakers have a very, very strong possibility of actually striking out. And this seems like a common occurrence of the Lakers the past few seasons. They have been striking out year after year, and all started with LaMarcus Aldridge, with Carmelo Anthony, of course, with Paul George. They were able to land LeBron James, but this will be another missed opportunity if they cannot. The rumor is now that they're going to start to shift their focus towards bringing in Klay Thompson if they can't get an Anthony Davis, but I don't see Klay Thompson leaving. I do not. I do think I fully expect, Kevin Durant to leave, and I fully expect the Golden State Warriors to offer Klay Thompson the max. If they offer him the max or even near the max, I don't see Klay Thompson leaving. I do think he stays. If he does leave, the Lakers will get first dibs. They will have a great opportunity to try to get him. Um, I just don't see him leaving. I really don't see him leaving. Scott says, I'm surprised the Bucks have not tried to get Conley yet. The Milwaukee Bucks they're in that also situation where they're going to try to get better. They're going to try to get another stretch big if possible. I think that is their look, what they're mainly trying to get. In terms of their guards, I think they're staying packed with what they have. I know they have a lot of guys whose contract is up. So when it comes to trading away their starters, their guys don't have a lot of value because, yes, Chris Middleton's having a good year, but he's a free agent, So it's really tough for the Bucks to really get involved. But I do see them trying to get a stretch big for relatively cheap. I think that is what they're trying to do, but I don't expect the Milwaukee Bucks to make a ton of noise. The team to get AD would be the Bucks. It would be the Bucks, but like I said, they just don't have the pieces and the assets. You've seen what the Lakers offered. They offered Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Zubac, Josh Hart, 2 first-round picks. Milwaukee Bucks don't have anything that could realistically match that offer. The only team that really can compete with that is the Boston Celtics. We're hearing that they're trying to get a trade revolving around Jason Tatum. If you ask me, I don't think that trade is going to go through. Honestly, I don't see the Celtics trading away. I don't see them trading away Jason Tatum. I think there's a lot of uncertainty regarding Kyrie Irving. Um, I think it still benefits Boston to kind of play along as if they're going to just send the house for Anthony Davis. So that way you still have an opportunity in the summer. You can figure out what Kyrie Irving's going to do. You can figure out where your draft picks fall. Because remember, Celtics have a lot of draft picks, but they're not guaranteed. If Sacramento does better than they expected, of course, they lose that pick because it's protected. So really not Boston. They're iffy. They're really, really iffy. And honestly, if I'm Boston, guys, I know it's not a popular opinion. I'm at least considering. I'm not actively shopping. I'll be listening to offers, but I will consider trading away Kyrie Irving. I like Kyrie Irving. I like him a lot. And the reason why I say you might have to consider trading him is because you don't know if he's going to come back. And it's shown that Jason Tatum plays way better. Even Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, they all play as a unit way better without Kyrie Irving on the court. So when you take those into consideration, it's something you have to think about. If you get a good enough offer or even Anthony Davis, I would think about moving Kyrie Irving. I don't think they will, but something that I would do personally if I'm GM. Do you think the Grizzlies offer the Lakers Mike Conley, Lance Stevenson, and a cure for HIV? Lakers will accept. I don't think the Lakers are interested in Mike Conley. I think the Lakers, when it comes to the point guard situation, of course, if they stay packed, if they don't make a trade, they have Lonzo Ball, they have Rajon Rondo. I think they're comfortable there. I also think they're comfortable with a couple of options in the offseason, mainly Kyrie Irving, trying to see if they can bring in a player like Kyrie Irving. I think the Lakers are going to make a strong push to try to bring him in, and the Lakers are going to make a strong push to try to bring in a Kemba Walker. So I think the Lakers have plenty of options. I don't think they're going to go make that trade for Mike Conley and that Mike Conley contract. I think they will wait, and I think they value, Kyrie Irving and Kemba Walker a little bit higher. So do I over Mike Conley. So I don't see the Lakers trying to get Mike Conley right now. AD for Aldridge, Forbes, Gasol, and the 2019 first-round pick. I don't do that. I don't do that if I'm the Pelicans. And the reason why is I think the Lakers, what they had to offer is more than that. Yes, Aldridge is having a phenomenal season again, but he's still an aging player. I like Forbes, Gasol. He's an Asian guy as well. A 2019 first. It's going to be mid round for San Antonio. I don't do that. I either go with the Lakers deal and get all those young guys and kind of just see what they do. I think, personally as a Lakers fan, Brandon Ingram, I don't think fits that great with LeBron James. Brandon Ingram on his own team, I think does a lot better. So I think if you're the Pelicans, you still want Brandon Ingram. Kyle Kuzma, we know this guy is a beast. He still needs a first option. I don't like Kyle Kuzma as your number one option, but if you're still sitting him there back with Brandon Ingram, you still have some talent. Jahlil Okafor's even been playing very, very well, which I think makes the decision a little bit easier, especially if you can sign him long term. I think that definitely helps. Let's see. Ingram, Stevenson, Covington, Dang, and Sarge. Ingram, Stevenson for Covington, Dang, and Sarge. No, absolutely. You're not giving up Brandon Ingram unless you're getting back a perennial all-star. Covington, very good player. I like him. Dang, no. Sorry, I'm not rocking with Dang. Sarge, I like him though. I do like Dario Sarge, but no, we're rocking with Brandon Ingram. Thank you, Lakers girl, for the super chat. Definitely do appreciate that. Thanks for the live stream of the trade deadline. Yes, I'm going to try to do this probably about an hour today. We're going to try to come back tomorrow during the trade deadline. And we'll see if any major trades actually happen while we're here. As of right now, I'm just looking through my feed. Doesn't look like anything still has happened as of yet. But I do expect, like I said, I expect something to go down with Mike Conley or Marc Gasol tonight. We will see what happens. I know it's 5:52 here Pacific time. Was that 8:52 Eastern Standard Time? So we still have some time. I think something will happen tonight. But we'll see. Obviously, we will see. Scott says, I see AD will get traded at the last minute because he's just going to sit and not play. They need someone back. Yeah. As a Lakers fan, I will hope Anthony Davis gets traded before the deadline, because if that happens, that means more than likely, about 95% sure, he will be a Los Angeles Laker, if that is indeed the case. But it's looking like they're willing to wait this out until the summer, maybe even longer. And I think that's the plan that they're going to do. It looks like just a lot of the people inside the organization really, really do not want to see Anthony Davis traded, and they don't want to see Anthony Davis traded to the Lakers. That is a huge thing in all of this. You have the Lakers in general, which teams like the San Antonio Spurs will never work with. So they're going to try to, persuade them. Boston, of course, they're going to try to persuade them not to trade the Lakers. And on top of that, you have a lot of owners around the league who doesn't like, the way kind of LeBron and his camp have kind of done things, especially with Rich Paul and how they kind of set this up, because we've seen this coming for a year now. As soon as he hired Rich Paul as his agent last year, we knew he was going to try to get his way to LA. Now, granted, we didn't think that he would request a trade before the deadline. We thought that would happen in the summer because, Anthony Davis, laid back guy. He doesn't want to cause controversy, and he doesn't want to be the bad guy. So we thought it would happen later. But the owners don't like the fact that they kind of put this into play. They also don't like the fact that players are kind of dictating where they go and how they do things. Because remember, owners still want to have control. Granted, is nowhere near the level of control where we see in other leagues like the NFL. The NBA is still a players' league, but the owners, they don't want that to happen. And I think this will set precedents. We've seen it before the last couple of years, but with those players, with the Paul George situation, with the Kawhi Leonard situation, they had 1 year left on their contract. And now Anthony Davis is doing it with 2 years left on his contract. So I think is a lot of reasons why that trade won't happen, but I hope I'm wrong. The Lakers, they did not mess around. They went strong with these offers. But you offer pretty much all you can. I think 4 first-round picks on top of taking a bad contract. I think that's too much. It's borderline too much, giving up all your young players anyway, but you're adding the draft picks. You're taking on the bad contract. I think that's too much for the Lakers. So the Cavs will make more trades. Cleveland is they're just trying to get as many draft picks as possible. If they got to take bad deals to get in draft picks, if they got to take bad players to bring in draft picks, they're going to do it. So I wouldn't, or if they're just a third team to try to get somebody in, I definitely expect them to do that. Maham said, "What do you think the Washington Wizards are going to do?" In my opinion, I think they're going to try to rebuild without John Wall. The Wizards are also in a weird, they're in a terrible salary cap situation, which makes the Otto Porter trade good. But for Washington, you now have a lot of pieces there. You have to figure out what you're going to do with these new guys who you just traded for. But more importantly, John Wall looks like that's the person that is going to stay in DC. Not because they want him to. I think they would prefer to rock with Bradley Beal. But that John Wall contract is ridiculous. I believe he makes $38 million next season. He's going to miss half the season with his torn Achilles. And then every year after that, he's $40+ million. That's going to be hard to move. That's going to be really, really hard to move. So I think they're going to try to win because talent-wise, we all see the talent that Washington has. If everybody is healthy, everybody's ready to go. Even with Bradley Beal healthy, with the John Wall healthy, if they keep Jabari Parker, having him there healthy, even Dwight Howard healthy could help contribute. But they just haven't been able to put it together. For years, I've always said I like the Wizards. I like the Wizards, but for whatever reason, they just can't make it happen. DLloyd, who do you think won the Otto Porter trade? I think Washington did. The Bulls, like I said, you bring in Otto Porter Jr. I'm not huge on Otto Porter. So that's, kind of my bias for that trade. But just looking at it, Jabari Parker, I think, was just in a bad situation. I think Jabari Parker is an incredible talent. I still think he's a guy, in the best of situations could get you 20 points a game. Even in a decent situation, get you 15 to 18 points per game. I think that will help out the Washington Wizards. I think he will get a fair shake here in DC. So I think the Wizards won the trade. Am I the only one that thinks the Cavs' future is trending up? The Cavs are doing good. They were in a terrible situation. They're bringing in young pieces who they can actually, give tryout years to, is what I call it. See who they want to keep moving forward. They're accumulating draft picks. I like what the Cavs are doing. They even have a friendly contract with Kevin Love as he gets paid less and less per season. That is rare in the NBA. So no, you're not the only one. I think the Cavs are making the right moves for right now. It's just going to be hard getting top free agents to go to Cleveland. So you're going to have to build through the draft. You're going to have to build through players who teams, kind of given up on in terms of potential. That's the kind of route you have to go if you're Cleveland. Everybody isn't lining up to go there. Let's read some more comments. Russ didn't do much for the Lakers. A lot of people talk about D'Angelo Russell lately, and I mentioned it on Twitter. I guess if we go through it quickly because it still looks like really nothing is happening. So basically, people have to remember, especially if you're a Lakers fan, that D'Angelo Russell move was great. Yes, I know he's an all-star now, and he's playing very, very well. But you have to remember the reason why the Lakers traded D'Angelo Russell. One, we all know that didn't happen with Nick Young. He wasn't a good leader. Magic Johnson really didn't have the best words for him right away. But he was the piece that we needed to get rid of our bad contracts. Timothy Mozgov's contract was absolutely terrible. Without those coming off of the books, the Lakers being in a position to try to get two max guys would not have happened. So it was a very important part for the Lakers to actually get rid of that deal or get rid of D'Angelo Russell. Although, yes, D'Angelo Russell is clearly, he's balling. He's having a fan, especially the last few months. Very, very solid for D'Angelo Russell. The Suns want Lonzo Ball. I'll try to get that pick for Zoe. The Suns have been interested in Lonzo Ball all season. He's kind of been in some rumors regarding the Phoenix Suns. It looks like Lonzo Ball and them are fine with going to Phoenix. Looked like Lonzo actually taking, I don't know if he put it back, but I know there's a moment where he took all Laker affiliation off of his social media accounts. LeVar Ball coming out saying Luke Walton is the worst coach ever. Um, if the Suns give up the first round pick, if they give up some of these young pieces, I think you do consider moving Lonzo Ball if that happens, or having him as the third team in the Anthony Davis trade. I don't think that's a bad thing either for the Los Angeles Lakers. Um, Please listen. Will the Wizards make the playoffs? I think so. I think Washington will sneak into the playoffs. I don't think they'll get out of the first round, but I think the Wizards will make the playoffs. See another one. Will the Wizards make the playoffs? Yes, the Wizards will make the playoffs. I think Jabari Parker. I think he makes them a lot better. I think Bobby Portis makes them a lot better. So I think the trade from today helps them out a lot. I think them knowing moving forward, John Wall is not going to be there. Bradley Beal going to be leading the way. I think it makes them better. Satoransky has been playing very, very well also. So absolutely, I think the Wizards sneak in to the playoffs. What do you think is going to? What do you think the Knicks are going to do with Enes Kanter? He's going to be bought out. There's just no trade market for Enes Kanter at the $18 million mark. I think they're going to try to push him before the deadline. Of course, once tomorrow trade deadline passes, I think they're going to try to negotiate to buy him out at that point. I don't see him there. And now that you have DeAndre Jordan there as well, I think the Knicks are going to buy out Enes Kanter, and then he'll go to a contending team. Simple as that. We'll see what teams are actually interested. Of course, he'll go through the waivers, all that good stuff. But I think he'll go to a contending team that gives him an opportunity to play. Sexton is the truth. I'm not that high on Sexton, Colin Sexton. I like him. Don't get me wrong. I still think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best point guard from last season's draft. Don't at me on that one. Ariza is a system player. I mean, it depends on what you mean by system player and in terms of expectations. I don't think nobody looks at Trevor Ariza as a guy who's an all-star player or a guy who's, taking you over the hump. But what Trevor Ariza is, he's a glue guy, which means he's the player who, defenses don't really focus on. So he does create issues when he's not the first or second or sometimes even third option. He's the guy who can get you some points. He could defend as well. So he does a lot of the dirty work for you. I think he helps almost any team that he goes to and plays with. So in terms of calling him a system guy, I wouldn't say that. I don't think, like one specific system is the reason why everybody knows who Trevor Ariza is. I think he will hold his own just about any team that he goes to and actually plays. But no, I would not call him that. Sexton just had 27 points. What has Alexander done that makes him better? No, when I look at the long term for Sexton, first of all, Shai Alexander, Gilgeous-Alexander has had some good games. He's up and down, but when you look at him, his play style, he has the ability to figure things out in terms of you see Colin Sexton struggling. You see him struggling with pick and roll. You see him struggling with pick and roll defense. You see him struggling with kind of IQ type of things, which stops me from thinking he will ever reach that full potential. Gilgeous-Alexander is a player that he continues to get better. Even in his one season at Kentucky, he came in, he was probably the lowest rated recruit, one of the guys nobody really paid attention to. Did not start at the beginning of the year. And at the end of the year, Kentucky was essentially his team, even with Kevin Knox there. That team ran through Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He really improved every single game. And you see him still making similar progress in the NBA. He had that stretch where he was absolutely cold and he just couldn't shoot. But every player is going to go through that stretch over 82-game season, especially during your rookie season. But I think over the course of the season, or course of a couple years, I think that's the case. I know a lot of people looked at me weird when I said De'Aaron Fox was the best point guard was 2017 draft over Lonzo Ball, over Fultz, and over Dennis Smith Jr., who was also in that draft. And De'Aaron Fox is looking like he's taking those steps forward to be the best point guard. The Lakers need AD bad as hell. Lakers, do what you have to do, please. I don't think it's on the Lakers anymore. I don't think it's on the Lakers. I really think it's on the Pelicans. They just simply aren't trying to trade the Lakers at this point. I think the Lakers did put their best foot forward. But no, I don't think it's the Lakers' fault. Clippers freeing up cap space, absolutely. The trade today trading Tobias Harris was the absolute move just to get cap space for the summer. That's all it was. They're essentially conceding this year um, to try to make sure they get cap space. They currently have the eighth seed. The Lakers are 2 games behind them. The Lakers get LeBron back. The Clippers lose Tobias Harris, who, in my opinion, should have been an all-star this year. So you make that swap right there. I think the Lakers get into the playoffs, even though they are struggling right now. The Clippers take a step back, but it helps the Clippers in a few ways, but especially getting the cap space to go after all the free agents that they want to do. The Clippers are definitely banking on the summer. Melo to LA will be nice. Bank on that happening. Lakers just want to get past the trade deadline, see how the roster looks. But I fully expect Carmelo Anthony to be a Laker at some point in the month of February. Look at Fox of the Kings. Yeah, Kings got Bagley, Hield, Bogdanovich. I think, yeah, Fox has a lot of talent, but I think the Kings have gotten really good. They're a team that I think a lot of people sleep on. Sacramento Kings in a few seasons. I think they're going to be very good. Y'all will see how good Sexton is when K Love come back. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Like I said, I don't think Sexton is a scrub by any means of the imagination. I think he's a good player. I just don't see Colin Sexton ever becoming like that all-star caliber type of guy. That's what I mean by, I'm not that crazy high on him. I know some people believe he will become that guy. I just don't. I just don't see that level of production coming out of Colin Sexton. Bench Reddick for scoring off of the bench. I think you're talking about JJ Reddick. If you are, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to, as long as you stagger your lineup in certain ways. I think JJ Redick's a guy. Obviously, he needs to shoot. He needs to run with the twos a lot because he does need to score. But you can stagger those lineup. You have the big four now there. You can stagger that lineup pretty well. And you can have, the times where JJ Redick's on the bench, you have those four out there, then you have JJ Redick out on the court without them, and you have those lineups where they're out there together. So I don't think he necessarily has to come off of the bench. I don't mind it. I don't think he necessarily has to, but JJ Redick plays a big part. And yes, he does get buckets for the second group. So I think that's very, very good as well. And I'm trying to see if something happens right now. I see the Pacers will explore the trade market for Aaron Holiday. Who is the source on that one? Sporting News NBA. We'll see what comes out of that one. I like Aaron Holiday. I like Aaron Holiday a lot. He won't be an all-star or anything like that, but I like Aaron Holiday. I'm still waiting on something to happen. Like I said, I think I'm expecting Mike Conley or Marc Gasol to be traded tonight, if not early in the morning. Lonzo Ball needs to be traded. The Lakers are working on it, but I don't think it's going to be to the Pelicans. We'll see if the Suns have any interest. I'm not quite sure. I think Sexton will be like John Wall in terms of how fast Sexton is, and eventually he'll be a good defender. Maybe Sexton could be an average passer. I don't think he'll ever get to the level of John Wall. I think John Wall, when healthy, is a top 5 point guard in the NBA in terms of just talent level. I think his passing is incredible. He could defend. He's not a good shooter, which makes it difficult in today's age of basketball. But Colin Sexton, I can see the comparison. I just don't think he will be as good as John Wall. Colin Sexton is the fastest rookie. I would agree with that one. I would definitely agree with that one. Who won the Harris trade? I think Philly. I think Philly won that trade just for the sure fact that you have the players there now. And for Philadelphia, get into Tobias Harris. You get a guy who's having his best season in the NBA. I definitely think he's not gonna be as good in Philly as he was in the Clippers. We got to remember in LA, he was the go-getter. He was the guy who was averaging 16 shots a game. He was the guy they looked to get points. He's not going to be that guy. He is now the third, some will argue the fourth option when it comes to the offense and where the offense is running through. Of course, maybe Ben Simmons, you don't count him as a scoring threat, but he's no longer the top option. So I could see a regression in Tobias Harris. But one thing that does come out of this is Jimmy Butler. We don't know what Jimmy Butler is going to do. And essentially, I think Jimmy Butler could leave. If Jimmy Butler leaves, you have Tobias Harris. You have to pay him. I think Tobias Harris is going to command a lot of money, but you have a backup option. So I think for Philly, you get opportunity to try to win with all fours. I think as currently constituted, unless something happens before now and tomorrow's trade deadline, which very well something could happen. I think right now Philly has the best starting lineup in the Eastern Conference. If they're the best starting lineup in the Eastern Conference, then they could definitely try to do something. Cameron says, "Do you think Toronto will make any big trades to make them better? Also, do you think Philly could be a team to beat in the East?" Basically, what we were just saying, I think Philly does become the team to beat. I think Toronto is still right there. I think they're a very, very close second. They try to make some trades. They definitely try to make some trades. I don't see nothing big coming down the pipeline in the next few hours. So I think essentially they have the same core guys that they have now. I think if Philly, if they could figure out how to work Tobias Harris in, I think yes, absolutely, bringing a guy like that in, you now have four big pieces who can score, or three who could score, and Ben Simmons. Um, yeah, I think they're the team to beat. I think Boston is figuring things out, but I think as long as another unpopular opinion, I think as long as Kyrie's kind of leading everything, I think Boston could go, but so far. I just don't like, how they play all the time with Kyrie on the court. I think Kyrie's unbelievable talent, but I think at some point you will have to either move Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, or move Kyrie Irving, or allow him to walk in free agency. What do you think of the Knicks trade? Who won the Knicks trade? Um, for the New York Knicks, I think there's a lot of behind the scenes things with Porzingis. I think they were essentially trying to get rid of him since he left out of the or left early or skipped, excuse me, the exit meeting. But out of that trade, easily, I think the Dallas Mavericks won that deal. You now have, your two guys you're rolling with in the future. With Luka Doncic there, you now have Kristaps Porzingis there after this season. It looks like they gel. Dirk Nowitzki could finish out this year with Kristaps. Of course, Porzingis isn't playing, but he's there with Dirk. I like it. I like that move a lot. I think those two moving forward, they're both young. They both way before the prime gets here. The only question mark will be Porzingis' health and his injury history. But overall, I love the move from Dallas. It's definitely worth, Dennis Smith Jr. and DeAndre Jordan, who you were going to let go anyway. For the Knicks, they're taking a gamble, a big gamble, in terms of they're hoping they can land Kevin Durant and they're hoping they can land somebody else. I think KD has a very, very good chance of landing in New York. The question is, who else is going to come to New York with them? I like Dennis Smith is there already. DeAndre Jordan, they're saying that they want to use him as a piece to land Kevin Durant. If that's the case, then DeAndre Jordan is going to stay, and which means you only get that money for Kevin Durant to get there. So we'll see what happens. Do you think Kyrie will be in Boston next season? No. As of right now, no. I don't think he will. I think Kyrie will be either a Knick or a Laker. Unless somebody else kind of comes out, which happens in the NBA quickly, or a trade. No, I don't see him back in Boston this year, especially if they don't finish the year strong. I think they have to go probably to the finals, and finish better than last season. But if they don't, I think they're going to question the fact that they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie Irving. They want to bring in, Anthony Davis, maybe try to trade or try to get something back. But you have to think that now, if you feel like Kyrie's going to leave now, I'll trade him before the trade deadline actually happens, or you're going to risk letting Kyrie go for absolutely nothing. Lakers trade KCP, Beasley, or Lance and one pick. I'm not sure if there was a first part to that question. The Lakers, from what I know, they tried to trade Kentavious Caldwell Pope for Jabari Parker. Clearly, that did not happen. But KCP now can be involved in the Anthony Davis trade because they wanted to hold on to KCP so they can move him for somebody else. But they can now try to include him if the Pelicans ever decide to call the Lakers, which at this point, I'm starting to doubt if that's going to happen. Do you think the Cavs should trade for Julius Randle? Julius Randle's on the block. He is on the block, and it looks like the Pelicans just want a first-round pick for Julius Randle, I say go for it. I think he's a young guy. I love Julius Randle a lot. He's having he had a good year last year, but he's having a very, very solid year this season. He's underrated. Yeah, I think the Cavs should go for it. I would do it at least, especially if you don't think you can get somebody better in the draft. You have to worry about the money, but I think for what he's getting paid, I think you absolutely go after Julius Randle. Thank you for answering my question. Appreciate it. Yes, no problem, Ryan. That's what I'm trying to do. What's up, Russell? Also, thoughts on Philly? What should they do with Markel? I've been saying this for a while. I know it's been very unpopular when I've been saying it. I've been saying this going back to last season. I think you trade Markel Fultz as soon as he has a good game. Simple. If Markel Fultz makes a 3-point shot, he will be traded before the game's even over. If I'm Elton Brand and the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm just not sure when he's coming back this season, if he's going to play this season, what exactly, they're going to do the rest of the year with him. But I think absolutely you trade Markel Fultz ASAP. To me, I just don't think he'll ever be that guy we thought he was going to be. He may be a decent guy. We've seen glimpses of him being good. We've seen him getting the triple doubles. It's just too much, too much to kind of question and uncertainty there. KCP declined the trade. Trash bag ass. Well, that could be the reason. And if that's so, it looks like KCP will be staying in LA. KCP has the right to veto his trades. I don't know who thought that was a great idea, but maybe the Lakers try to get him still to the Pelicans, and he, waives that or decides not to utilize that veto. I forgot all about Fultz. It's easy to. I can't blame you on that one, Walter. Cannot blame you on that one. Who do you think Nikola Vucevic is getting traded for? I'm not sure because we know right now with Mo Bamba and his injury, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Vucevic. He's a very, very good player. We know the Dallas Mavericks are a team that really, really are interested in him. So we'll see if maybe Dallas tries to get in there. Maybe they try to do something. But as of right now, not a lot of stuff that I see. Lakers making some more trades. They're trying to. We'll see what happened. Wasn't Melo. Wait, yes, Carmelo Anthony is a free agent. He could go anywhere. The reason I say it'll be probably sometime late February. Lakers want to see how the roster looks after the trade deadline. They also want to wait to see who all gets bought out. I think Carmelo Anthony is kind of on the page already with LA that he will come if the Lakers give him that deal. I think the Lakers are going to try to create space for Carmelo Anthony before the trade deadline, but I think they'll take some time. But I do fully expect Carmelo Anthony to be a Laker at some point this season. Who on the Sixers is most likely to lose? If you're asking what player specifically, who do I think they will lose? I think Jimmy Butler could. I think Jimmy Butler, if is more than likely to leave. I think he can leave, especially if he doesn't get max or close to the max. Jimmy Butler wants his money. That's one of the main reasons he was unhappy in Minnesota. He's seen Karl Anthony Towns get his money. He's seen Andrew Wiggins get his money. So I definitely think Jimmy Butler could be out. You've seen him already complaining about not being utilized in the offense. I think this could be his only year in New York, which is why I think the Tobias Harris trade was very, very good because you still have 3 players moving forward for the 76ers if he does decide to leave. Houston just got Iman Shumpert. Yes, we talked about that a little earlier in the 3-way deal. I think that's good for Houston. You got rid of Brandon Knight. Brandon Knight, you weren't going to play. You gave up a 2019 lottery protected first round pick for some off chance the Rockets don't make the playoffs. You get that pick back. Other than that, Houston Rockets not worried about that late draft pick at all. I don't think it's bad for Houston. I don't think it's bad at all. You get a guy, veteran presence, who's been there, who's won a championship. I don't think it's bad. Melo not going to the Sixers. No, I agree. I think he's going to LA. I think he's going to LA. I think the Lakers are just kind of seeing, what they do before the deadline. But I think ultimately he goes to LA. The Cavs didn't have all these injuries. We could have made the playoffs. I think that's a stretch, man. I think that's a stretch. I do like the Cavs moving forward. I think they're positioning themselves well for the next few seasons. But no, I don't think they're a playoff team with or without the injury. No, please, we don't want Melo's bum ass in LA. I think he's coming, man. So get ready. Get ready. I definitely think it's happening. Do you think there were any all-star snubs? And if so, who? I think Tobias Harris was a huge all-star snub. I think he should have definitely been in there. And besides that, D'Angelo Russell, I thought he should have been in there the first time he got in. Other than that, I think they pretty much got it spot on for the most part. Um, Paul George was named a starter over Anthony Davis. That one's tricky just because LeBron James is going to be a starter. Now, did he deserve to with the injuries and missing all those games? That's up for debate. Anthony Davis, even though Paul George was having a good year, I still would have had Anthony Davis as a starter, just in my opinion. Other than that, I don't really think there's a lot of snubs that happened this year. I think Tobias Harris should have been in. KD is going to leave. I do think there's a good chance that Kevin Durant leaves, unless something happens and the Warriors don't win or they struggle in the playoffs and all of a sudden there's a new challenge there. If they win and Kevin Durant gets another Finals MVP, I think he's leaving to try to go cement his legacy elsewhere and prove that he didn't need, a 73 win team to actually win. Bobby Portis, yes, he's now with the Wizards. He got traded essentially. I mean, Bobby Portis is a very good player. I think he's going to get a fair shake there, but Markkinen is the guy. He's clearly the guy in Chicago. That's the guy they want to have long term. So Bobby Portis is not going to get any love. Do you think Luka Doncic is overrated? No, honestly, I think the kid could ball. I think he could flat out ball. Um, I wasn't. I guess you could say I was skeptical. I wasn't sold on Luka coming into the draft just simply because it's always hard for me to judge. Yes, I know there's a lot of great players that come from overseas. Yes, I know that is their top league, but I don't know, who he's playing against on a day to day. When I'm looking at tape and I'm looking at players, I'm seeing who they're playing against. I know how good and the level of competition specifically who each and every player is. It's hard for me to judge that because I don't watch, European basketball. So it's a little hard. He looked good, but I've seen a lot of people also look good overseas and come back and didn't look that good. So I didn't know what he would be, but he's been way better than I thought. He's exceeded my expectations. People sleep on DeAndre Ayton, who's also having a monster season. But no, I don't think Luka Doncic is overrated. I think he's having a very solid season. If you were the Pistons GM, would you trade Reggie Jackson for TJ Warren? I would. I wouldn't. And I think honestly, they're over the Reggie Jackson experiment. So absolutely, I would do that. AD going to the Lakers in 2020. That's a possibility. That is definitely a possibility if Boston doesn't come in now. I fully expect in the summer for all the talks about where Kevin Durant, where Anthony Davis wants to sign is going to ramp up in terms of you're going to hear more and more quote unquote leaks saying Anthony Davis will only sign with the Lakers. Anthony Davis has zero interest in Boston. His dad already came out with that. They don't want to go there. They ultimately want to be in LA. He came out with those lists of other teams just as a thing to show, hey, the Lakers aren't the only team I would like to go to. I would like to go to the Clippers, who aren't going to trade for him. I would like to go to the Bucks, who don't have enough to trade for him. I would like to go to the Knicks, another team who fresh off their trade, they don't have enough to trade for him either. So I think ultimately he ends up in LA. It may take until 2020. Ayton might be the least talked about number one pick. Absolutely. DeAndre Ayton's been having a great season that nobody really acknowledges. They just talk about Luka Doncic, but DeAndre Ayton in especially now in the day and age where the center really is irrelevant to a point. You have a center, a more traditional center drafted first overall, having that impact right away. I think he's having a very, very solid season. Lakers can still get DeAndre Jordan and Wesley Matthews. They can. Wesley Matthews, I know, is still going to get traded. I think the Knicks are going to hold on to Jordan at least for now. Let's just talking about for the summer. Wesley Matthews could be bought out or he could be traded before the deadline. I don't see him actually playing with the Knicks. How do you see the Sacramento Kings future? I think it's bright. I really, really love the core of the Sacramento Kings. I know Bagley just had 24. I think could have been last night or the night before. But overall, I still think De'Aaron Fox is the truth. I think he's going to help out a lot, but they have so much talent there. They're just young, they're green. It's going to take some time, but I definitely do see them being a very, very solid team. And it still looks like I'm trying to see if anything else happened. Maybe this trade's not going to happen. I don't know. I don't know, guys. We'll see if anything happens tonight. Um, we'll probably end this stream soon, but I'll be try to stream. I'll try to stream again tomorrow, you guys, just so we can try to make sure we're talking as these trade deadlines actually come up. What year do you think Giannis will get traded? I don't. I think Giannis is actually going to be a lifetime Buck. He says he wants to, and I believe him. I don't see Milwaukee trading him. I don't see him kind of getting fed up. Milwaukee's actually doing their job, and they're trying to put together the best team around Giannis. I think that is the difference really between, even a team like New Orleans, who we seen made trades purposely so they don't have to go over the cap. I don't think that's the same thing with Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is ready, and I think they're going to try to win. So I do fully expect Giannis kind of be there, maybe the whole length of his career. What do you think of Jordan Clarkson? I don't think about Jordan Clarkson. He's okay, I guess. As a Lakers fan, I've seen the potential of Jordan Clarkson for a while now. I'm really not feeling it too well. So he's okay. He's a guy come off the bench who can get hot, who can't score for you, but I wouldn't can't depend on Jordan Clarkson to do anything in terms of defense or on the offensive side of the court. I wouldn't depend on him. I think there's a possibility Kawhi goes to the Lakers next season. There's always a possibility. The Lakers are going to be super strong and diligent in trying to get whatever free agent that is out there. I think ultimately he still ends up with the Clippers, but don't count out the Lakers. I absolutely do agree. There is a possibility. I just think the Clippers are the favorite. Do you think OKC can make any moves to help them compete in the West? They have to get a shooter. Simple. They just have to get a shooter. That is the detriment right now. A consistent guy who could come in and knock down some threes. Other than that, I love their team. I love the team. You just have to get a shooter. Simple. And I don't know if they'll be able to get one before the deadline. Maybe it's a situation where a player gets bought out, wants to go to a contender, and then he goes to OKC. But for right now, I'm not sure if they'll make anything. Clarkson's averaging 17 off the bench. Yeah, Clarkson, like I said, he's a guy who could get points. But I've seen it all the time in LA. Clarkson can still get points. He's just somebody I don't trust. Simple. I don't think you can really trust him. He's a guy who can get you points, who can score off the bench. That's pretty much all Clarkson really contributes. What do you think of Iman Shumpert to the Rockets? I said that earlier. I think it's good. I don't mind it all for Houston. You get that veteran leadership guy. I think that is very, very good. DeMarre Carroll to the Rockets. I don't think it'll happen. Now they got Shumpert. I think the Houston Rockets may be done before the trade deadline. LeVar or Jordan. That's hilarious, man. Maybe LeVar. We'll give you that one to LeVar Ball. Let's see. Rockets got shooting for sure. Rockets can shoot, man. They're gonna put up 73, 60, 73s in the game. So OKC moving forward after this season with the OKC, I mean, they're in a good spot. I think they have to address the shooting if they want to be a championship contending team. I think they're a team that will compete. I think they will, be one of those teams that have a higher seed, a top 4, top 5 seed. I think, they'll battle to get out the first round. They more than likely will. Then after that, I think that's pretty much where, the tires will stop spinning for OKC. I think they have to address shooting. Simple. And I think they'll probably try to do that in the offseason. I just don't think they can right now unless a player gets bought out. Where's Andre Roberson? No idea, man. No idea. Raptors moves. They tried to get Mike Conley. They tried to get Marcus Saul. They offered Valanciunas. They offered Kyle Lowry. That trade was rejected. So I think they're going to end up staying still. DLloyd, do you think LeBron James is toxic? It's not a complicated question, but LeBron James he hasn't left the team in good shape. But of course, when you're a player as good as LeBron, you don't. What I think about LeBron is that he is so good and so gifted. He expects everybody else around him to kind of raise that level. But when a player like LeBron comes to a team, even like the Lakers, now all of a sudden the expectations just goes through the roof. The Lakers are not a championship contending team with their current roster. I think people believe that and they know that, but they're still expected to win every game as if they're a championship roster. Now, of course, there's games where we don't expect them to win, but for the most part, they're expected to always win. I think that takes tolls on teams. And when things go wrong, LeBron isn't looking for a long-term fix. He's looking for a fix right now. So then you get all the trade rumors kind of coming on, and players around him. You never want to be comfortable, or you're never going to be comfortable with your name in a trade rumor. So I think he does affect teams, especially if you're losing. We've seen how great and how much fun players, have playing with LeBron when they're winning. But when you're losing, I wouldn't say toxic, but it is hard. It is tough and it's difficult for a lot of players. You have to have a certain mentality playing with LeBron James that a lot of players who've unfortunately played with him don't have. Will the Lakers make a move besides AD? I think so. I think tomorrow morning we'll see a couple moves from LA, a couple of small moves, nothing big. But I do think they're going to still try to revamp this roster a little bit. I think they're going to try to add some shooters at the end of the day. Who do you think the Jazz are going to get? They're trying to get Mike Conley. Other than that, I don't really see other moves for Utah, but they want to try their best to get Mike Conley. We're hearing Mike Conley isn't feeling playing in Utah. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. I want to see the 76ers and the Warriors finals. I think they'll evenly match up. I think ultimately Golden State wins the championship this year, regardless. But Philly can make it. They can make the finals. I think they have the roster to do it. I think it's between them and Boston. I think um the Raptors in the regular season are going to be there. But we've seen them fall apart. Yes, DeMar DeRozan isn't there, and yes, Kawhi Leonard is now there. But I think those are the two teams that will at least have the opportunity to make the finals in the Eastern Conference. There's a lot of pressure going in on Lakers organization. Can you see long sewing room use the most? Like, yeah, they're not the most hated. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Any other trades you see happening? I think there's going to be a couple of trades that kind of catch people off guard tomorrow. Honest. I think there'll be some trades that catch people off tomorrow. What do you think about Kyle Lowry to the Lakers? Would it work out? I wouldn't. I wouldn't make that trade. I will rock with Rajon Rondo, especially in the playoffs. We've seen Rondo step up. We've seen playoff Rondo, and we've seen playoff Kyle Lowry. I keep Rondo in that situation. Lakers need a point guard. Lonzo is the answer. They need a point guard. Lonzo is the answer. Trade Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart for D'Angelo Russell. I think he meant Lonzo is not the answer. And I don't necessarily agree because you're going to have to pay D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell, once he hits the market, you're going to have to pay him a lot of money. Lonzo Ball, I agree. He may not be the answer for you, especially with a player like LeBron James there. Sometimes he renders Lonzo absolutely useless. Lonzo needs the ball in his hands, needs to pass the ball, but if the ball is in the hands of LeBron James, Lonzo doesn't really do a lot. So I do agree you can get a scoring point guard that will help. I think D'Angelo Russell playing with LeBron James will be good. I just don't see that happening. What do you think the 76ers new big four? I think they have the best starting lineup in the Eastern Conference, hands down. Will there be any big trades tonight or tomorrow? Marcus Gasol, Mike Conley, I fully expect them to be traded. I was hoping it was tonight. It looks like that may not be the case, knowing my luck as soon as we get off the stream. That trade will go down. But I do fully expect that. Maybe Charlotte. And then other than that, I'm just like you. I'm waiting to see a Woj bomb, see if the Lakers decide or the Pelicans decide to ship AD to the Lakers. Other than that, I don't see nothing huge actually happening. Do you think OKC has a chance to make it into the Western Conference Finals? I do think they can make it to the finals. I think that's their ceiling. Is the Western Conference Finals. I don't see them making it past that. I think realistically, you're looking at the second round exit for OKC. What do you think of Colin Sexton's potential? We talked about this earlier. I think he will be a solid point guard. Solid point guard who, can help you on a team where you have the right pieces around you. I never think he'll be an a perennial all star. Maybe one year he gets lucky, makes one. I don't think he's a perennial all star type of player, but I think he's a solid point guard that almost any team's going to at least want, unless you have that top tier point guard. He's in that tier right below that. I think that's his potential. What do you think of Phoenix Suns are going to do upcoming free agency? They're going to have to land themselves a point guard. Either trade for Alonzo Ball, or they're going to have to try to land themselves a point guard. I think that's their focus. I think they'll shop, players like TJ. I think they'll shop even to Josh Jackson. But I think they're going to try to land themselves a point guard this summer. J.R. Smith will be bought out. He should have been bought out, man. I don't know what Cleveland is doing with that. They don't want to, or he doesn't want to. But regardless of who wants it, it hasn't happened. But I feel like, yeah, absolutely, he should be bought out or traded to a team that he could contend. I think that's what J.R. Smith wants at this point. Lakers need to trade ball to the Suns. Suns are definitely interested. It just depends on what they're going to give back. It's basically that simple. Do you think Booker will want to leave the Suns? We've seen this before with Devin Booker. He says he's committed to Phoenix. I think right now he's content, even though they're losing, because he sees the future as being bright. Say in 1 or 2 years it doesn't work. Yeah, I can see him asking to leave. He wants to be a team where he can win. What do you think is LeBron's big next? LeBron's big step is next. I see the next one. He's gonna have to try to talk Kyrie to coming back and playing for him if this Anthony Davis thing doesn't work. They're in a very tough spot. Very, very important this summer that they get something done. But it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough to see because teams simply also don't want that to happen. Lakers should go after Henry Smith. He's the only reason why LeBron won in Cleveland. That's funny, man. Kobe's coming back. No, he's not. He probably could still play though. I'm sure Kobe can still play, but no. What's going on with Markelle Fultz, man? Your guess is as good as mine. He is nowhere to be found. Will Kevin Love get traded? Not before the trade deadline. Maybe in the summer. I don't see Kevin Love going anywhere by tomorrow. Where's J.R. Smith? He is at home, probably playing 2K, but waiting for a buyout. I don't see a trade happening. Maybe, but waiting for a buyout. Will J.R. Smith go to help OKC? I think so. I think if J.R. was bought out, went there, and just contributed off of the bench, I don't see him hurting. I think he could help OKC have an extra threat coming off the bench. How do you feel about Chris Dunn? Chris Dunn's having a good year. He's having a good year. I wasn't high on him, especially the first year in Minnesota, but he's having a decent season. I think Chris Dunn will be a solid point guard. Almost, I don't think he'll be even Colin Sexton level. I don't think he'll be like that tier, but I think he's a solid guy. If you were the Pistons GM, would you trade Reggie Jackson for someone like Josh Jackson or TJ Warren? I would definitely trade him for TJ Warren. Josh Jackson, I would trade just for salary cap reasons. I will make that trade if you feel the potential of Josh Jackson could be there. I will do that even for salary cap reasons to cut some cap a little bit. I don't mind that because I think Blake Griffin is getting fed up already in Detroit. What do you think about the Bulls getting Porter? Um, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of Otto Porter, honestly. So I don't think very much of it is not going to change, their future or where they're going to go. So not a huge fan of it. It's not a terrible trade. I just don't think it does, a lot. I like Bobby Portis a lot. Jabari Parker, I like. Obviously, he wasn't going to finish Chicago, so I don't mind that trade. But I don't think a crazy amount about it. Eric Gordon has been frustrating me this season. Do you think he will get traded? Teams are going to want him, but this year he's not going anywhere. Eric Gordon will be in Houston this season. We'll readdress it in the summer, but he's not going anywhere. What do you think of D Rose this year? I think he is really, really good. Really, really good. I've been saying it. I've been saying it since last season when he got traded and then cut by Utah. I think Derrick Rose, I was saying it could get you 18 points a game. He's still very, very good. Just did not get the opportunity that he needed. So that is that. Yo, DLloyd update on Pelicans AD on Twitter. Let me check that out. I haven't seen anything on my end, but let me look at that. If something happened, that could be interesting. I'm assuming is beneficial to the Lakers with the fire emojis, but see what Jennifer Hale has said. Um, the Pelicans front office did not make the trip to Chicago for tonight's game versus the Bulls. They're all in New Orleans fielding trade offers for Anthony Davis. Expect the decision to come down to the wire. They're waiting to be impressed by an offer that sets the team up long term. If that's the update you are talking about, that's good. That's good news. I mean, that's good news. Um, the Lakers are also going to be there with them long term. I think they're really trying to fill out what is out there. But at the end of the day, that Lakers offer is more than just about anybody can offer except for Boston. It's really down to those two. And to me, I think the Lakers offer is better than Boston's offer. I don't know where those draft picks are going to go. I think Sacramento's going to do better than they thought. And there's potential that it's not the greatest draft pick ever. So you're getting draft picks. It's not gonna be great draft pick from the Lakers, of course, but you're getting draft picks. You're getting rid of a bad deal. Jahlil Okafor has been looking very good in the absence of Anthony Davis. So I'm not even sure you're missing something there, but you're bringing in young pieces with Jahlil Okafor there. I would have taken if I'm the Pelicans. I would have taken that deal just because. Also, I don't think Jason Tatum is crazy head and shoulders above Brandon Ingram. I think Jason Tatum is a better player. But when you package, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma over, Jason Tatum, even a Jaylen Brown, no, I don't. I would have taken the deal. So hopefully something can happen in the morning. I do like what she said. I could fully expect something to happen last minute. We'll see. Schroeder, 6 man of the year. Dennis Schroeder has been fantastic. He's on my fantasy basketball team, so I appreciate everything he has been doing. I agree. He's definitely in the running. Dennis Schroeder is showing to be one of the best trades of last summer. What do you think Derrick Rose will do after the season? The Knicks, I think, are going in the good direction. I'm assuming the Knicks. I think Derrick Rose will return. He's going to get way more than the minimum. I think he will return though. I think he's comfortable playing there, but we'll see what happens. I think he could play wherever he goes. I think as long as Derrick Rose gets the opportunity, he could ball. It's just the injuries, man, that'll hold him up. The Knicks, if that's who you're talking about, the Knicks, they're hopeful, man. They're hopeful. We've seen the Knicks strike out a ton. So we'll see if they strike out here. I think Kevin Durant has a good opportunity of going there, but it's not set in stone. We don't know. Kyrie Irving, we don't know. So they could just be a team with $70 million in cap space, re-signing DeAndre Jordan back and trying to get the next best piece. So there's no guarantee there, but they put themselves in position to do it. I don't know if I would have traded Kristaps to do that, at least right now. I love your videos. I appreciate it, man. I definitely do appreciate it. I've been having a little less time lately to try to do them, but I've been trying to get them out for you guys. So I'm glad that you guys have been enjoying them. Is OKC still Westbrook's team? It's still Westbrook's team. Even though Paul George has been having a better season, I think the heart and the soul is still with Westbrook. He still, plays with that fire, plays with that edge every single night. So I still think it's Westbrook's team. Zion Wilson going to the Cavs next year. We'll see. We'll see how the lottery plays out. See, he go to a few teams, but we'll see where the lottery plays. But Zion I do fully expect him to be the first overall pick. Unpopular opinion, I like Barrett more than I like Zion, but Zion is going to bring a lot of fans out there. Very exciting to watch. I think Zion's a good player. But we'll see. We'll see what he does. Orlando's a weird team. What do you think they will do? They're going to try to move Vucevic, but other than that, there's really no urgency right now from Orlando, which is weird. We know there was a couple talks with Aaron Gordon potentially leaving. I heard a couple teams maybe was even interested in Jonathan Isaac. But other than that, then they're staying pat with what they have. Do you think Dante Exum should be traded from Utah? I would personally. I would, depending on the deal that you get back. Um, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind trading him at all. Clarkson to the Nets for Carroll in the second round pick. Are you? If you're talking about Jordan Clarkson to the Nets for DeMar Carroll and 2 second rounders, um, no, I don't do that. Clarkson still provides a lot of points coming for you off the bench. Um, and he can still be that spark. So no, I don't do that. Clarkson to the Hornets for Biombo and a first, a second. I would do that. I would, I would definitely do that. Um, let's see. What channel are you watching Deadline on? I am going to literally be on Twitter and seeing if people just text me or tweet me a whole bunch of information. That's probably the best place to be, especially when you have ESPN and all that stuff. They're always a little bit late. Woj, depending on his contract, which I don't think he has anything against it with ESPN, he'll definitely tweet it out first on Twitter. So I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter during the trade deadline. Um, will the Cavs waste Zion's career? They won't waste his career. I think he'll be good almost anywhere he goes. Hold on, we have something with Mike Conley, Marcus Gasol. The Wizards have inquired about Mike Conley and Marcus Gasol. Charlotte still the favorite to land Gasol. That's interesting. That is interesting. So more bidders in the race for Mike Conley and Marcus Gasol. Looks like all the teams are trying to get them as a pair. Yeah, it looks like the teams are trying to get them as a pair, but we'll see. I think Charlotte is going to make the move. I think they're going to get Mike Conley and Marcus Gasol. And if they do, watch for Kemba Walker. Watch for Kemba being traded. And if you guys don't know, last year, Kemba Walker was literally a few minutes away from being traded from Charlotte to Cleveland at the trade deadline. It was so close that I had a video ready to go talking about the trade that is still on this channel. It has private. I never put it out because then all of a sudden the Lakers jumped in. They were able to get Isaiah Thomas and all that good stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. What definitely can happen. Um, but we'll see. I want Zoe in Phoenix. Good possibility. I think it's a good possibility, even with the Anthony Davis, that Phoenix could be that third team to get involved, so they can get Lonzo Ball. Maybe they send somebody else that the Pelicans are interested in to New Orleans. So I do think that could be some good stuff there also. Why Austin Rivers getting 35 minutes a game? He's trash. I do not know, man. Your guess is as good as mine. But I have no idea. Ariza back in Houston, it's not going to happen. But the Lakers, watch for them trying to get Trevor Ariza. I think that could happen as a backup plan if nothing else goes their way, or if they want to come in Carmelo to LA. I think that's a strong possibility. I think he will be a Laker by the end of February. But some point during the month of February, I think Carmelo Anthony will sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, guys. So what time is it? A few more questions before we get out of here for the night. I'm trying to see something happens with this Mike Conley and Marcus Gasol trade tonight. I'm not quite sure. Lakers running low on hope on Anthony Davis trade. I think they're going to be talking all day tomorrow. So I think the Lakers are going to pop back up again for Anthony Davis. I don't think nobody else is matching what they are offering unless they truly expect Jason Tatum to be there in the summer. I think this is my thing with the Celtics in terms of trading for Anthony Davis. I believe they're not going to offer everything that the Pelicans believe they're going to offer. Danny Ainge, for one, he's a master manipulator. He'll do anything to try to win. And at the end of the day, are you going to gut your entire roster for Anthony Davis? The Lakers are willing to do that. Is Boston willing to do that? Especially for a player like Kyrie, who, one, you don't know where he exactly stands in the longevity of staying there. Two, even if he does stay, Kyrie Irving has said out of his mouth he might not play very long in the NBA. So I'm not quite sure if you trade all your young pieces, or you keep what you have and try to roll with that long term. So I'm not quite sure what you give up Gordon Hayward to me is basically untradeable at this point. So we'll see what happens. Do you think any more All Stars will be traded? I think Kemba Walker, if they get Mike Conley, I think Kemba Walker could be moved tomorrow. Simple. What are the Knicks doing before the deadline? I think the Knicks are essentially done. Small things, but done. I don't think they're doing a whole lot. Let's see. Before we get out of here, let me see one last refresh, see something else is happening. The Wizards have acquired again for Mike Conley and Marcus Saul. That could happen. I still think Charlotte, though. I think Charlotte is the place for him to actually end up at. Oh, the Tyler Johnson trade. I don't think we talked about that. The Tyler Johnson and Wayne Ellington trade to the Suns for Ryan Anderson. We knew the Heat were interested in Ryan Anderson for a while back. Even when he was with Houston, they tried to trade for him then. So that's, not unexpected news. Wayne Ellington, I fully expect him to be released. I don't think he'll play. I'm not quite sure. I haven't read up on it. I'm not quite sure, but I fully expect him to be released. And Tyler Johnson, I like him, but that cap space for the Heat, it made sense. You get a guy with a partial guarantee next season who you could get out of his deal. If you don't like him, you were stuck with Tyler Johnson. You don't want to pay the luxury tax. It makes sense from the Heat standpoint. So I don't mind it from either side. Lakers will get AD, believe me. I hope so. I hope so. As a Lakers fan, I really hope so. We'll see what we have to give up. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But with that, guys, I am out of here for today. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, it's DLloydTV, DLloyd TV. I'll be tweeting, especially tomorrow. But depending on my schedule, I am going to try to get a stream in before the deadline. So look out for that. I'll definitely have videos, anything that happens tonight that we missed during the stream. But yes, guys, I think that's it. So we're gonna leave it right now. Make sure you guys follow me. I seen King Sway already got me on Twitter. Appreciate it, guys. Make sure you do follow me. The link is also in the description. So you guys can check it out there. We'll have it tomorrow, and hopefully Lakers get Anthony Davis. So if you guys got any good news, any leaks, any stories, make sure you DM me on Twitter, even on Instagram, if you guys have anything specifically you want me to talk about. So I appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow.